the cloud. Okay. And we're recording. Thank you all so much for coming over today. I'm very nervous because it's my first board meeting as the chair of the board. Thank you so much for everything, for being here and for your support. And I need to read this statement so we can get started. And I'm sorry for my English. All right. For those on the call today, please be sure to mute your devices while not speaking. Call to order the NECAT board meeting. Today is February 23rd, 2021. Out of an abundance of caution and pursuant to recommendation from federal, state, and local health agencies regarding avoiding group gatherings due to COVID-19 coronavirus, this meeting is a teleconference meeting. All right, I'll now take a roll call of board members in attendance. When I say your name, please say present. And I think I got everybody's names right here. Shiana Lynn Bradmeyer.
Here.
Dana Shurin.
Here.
Fella, I don't know your real name. What is your, sorry, big fella.
I'm here. Willie Sims is my name.
Willie, okay, I gotta write that down. Sorry for messing up your name.
No, big fella works. It's all good.
All right. Aisha is not present. Brian Roseman.
Present.
Brian Messfield.
Here, present.
Also present today is Chris Singleton, John Ferguson, Cameron Gasland, and myself, Shay Lopez. All right. Oh, and Rachel, where is she? She left? Oh, there she is. I was like, I'm losing people on my screen. They're here. And Rachel Kenyon. The board must vote to on record that COVID-19 pandemic require us to hold a telephonic meeting as permitted under the governor's executive order number 16. Do I have a motion to hold an electronic meeting?
So moved.
So moved.
I'll second.
Second.
All right.
Yep. Whichever way.
All right. Shanali move and Brian second. Thank you so much. All those in favor of holding an electronic meeting say yay.
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 Yeah.
Anyone oppose? Okay, motion carries on. Thank you so much. Let's see. Do I have a motion to suspend the rules in order to hold an electronic meeting?
Yes.
Do I have a second?
Ryan seconds.
All right, thank you so much. All those in favor of suspending the rules in order to hold an electronic meeting, say yay.
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 Anyone opposed? No? Well, then let's start the meeting. All right, I had emailed you all the agenda and the minutes. Could you please take a moment to review the agenda and the minutes and the financials, see if you get a chance.
Shayla, I didn't have any edits to the minutes. If nobody else did, I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second. Brian.
All right, motion carries. And I'm sorry, guys, I need to get something for myself here in just a moment. what happened to my emails? I don't know. Do you guys take a moment to review the financials? Is there anything, Rachel, that we need to review?
I don't think anything to review, just always keeping our eye on that runway, which you guys have through January 31st, because that's everything that's reconciled. But as of today, bank balances, our runway is about 3 to 3.5 months if nothing else came in. And we did finally get the PPP second round application sent off, fingers crossed. It's very sketchy because yeah, Cameron's like, please, because the way that the company that we're going through has their application online, they require an owner listed on the documentation. We don't really have an owner or individual to list. So we've tried to sideline that as best we can. Everybody's response has been just skip that. You don't have to put it, but on the online application, it doesn't let you skip it. So hopefully what we've done will suffice. And the application's been submitted. My other clients that have been applying have gotten their funding pretty quickly right now. So we'll see what happens. That's it. So, but if that doesn't come through, and if literally not a dime came in, we're at about 3.5 months. That's all I got.
And Rachel,
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. Question about PPP. The third round, have they sent out guidelines for that if the Congress passes the third round? Okay. The rumor has it there will be a couple of weeks where anybody that has 20 employees or less gets to fill out their application first.
Okay, I'll watch for that. I haven't seen a single thing about it yet. Thank you.
Yeah, so I saw that this morning and thought, oh, well, that's a good idea for small, to give some of the smaller businesses a chance to apply first. So just be on the lookout for that. And if I see anything else, I'll email it to you and say, hey, heads up.
That'd be great because I haven't seen a thing about it yet.
And I've been trying to forward all the emails that come my way on that. I've been trying to forward it to Shayla and Rachel and Shauna, at least just because I know you guys have kind of been all in on trying to make that happen.
Yeah.
So I'll continue looking as well, and hopefully we'll keep getting good news on that front.
It's been a crazy, the loan source actually discontinued taking calls at all. Like if you call their number, there's just a recording that says to better serve you, we've discontinued receiving phone calls. So fingers crossed.
I was going to ask you if you have received anything from the Facebook fundraiser.
I don't think we did we? I feel like I don't think we saw anything from that.
I haven't seen anything either.
Yeah, because it was supposed to be like 3 months, but it's been more than 3 months since I did that fundraiser. It was in October.
Is that something that you can reach out to find out about? I don't know how to do that.
No, I don't. And I think Tyler had the access to the page on Facebook where he was able to look at that part, when it was set up as a nonprofit.
I can reach out to Tyler and just ask him what we have to do to make that happen. And then just double back with you guys. And if it's not me, then I'll reach out to Shayla and so forth. Because that should just be a PayPal deposit, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Guys, hold on just a moment. You talk among yourselves there.
Chris, what are you laughing at?
I'm laughing at John.
Oh.
Rachel, while we're waiting for Shayla, I had another question about, I know we, for the Secretary of State's office, we extended our filings with them because of the IRS extension. Is there any movement on that so we can file with the state? I just don't want to reach the end of the deadlines and be in the same situation.
I have not.
Or Cameron, that may be a question for you.
Well, so last year they had sent things by mail, but we never received anything digitally. This year I have not received anything digitally saying any movement has happened. I need to go by the mailbox. I had got quarantined, so I wasn't able to go, and then we got snowed in last week, so I haven't. But I'm planning on going this week to Nashville State, picking up our mail, and I'll copy you on an email if there's anything there, just to let you know if there's anything in the mailbox that says otherwise. But I haven't seen anything as of right now.
Okay.
And copy me
Well,
as
there's
well.
some deadlines
Cam.
by the end of March, so.
Sure.
Yeah.
Copy me as well, Cam, because I can reach out to them and talk with them if necessary.
Sure thing. Happy to do that, Rachel.
All
And
right.
do we have to do an audited financial this year? I know we don't do one every year. Which year is our year
This
for,
This would be a skip again.
this is a skip. Okay, just wanted to make sure, because that's what's due at the end of March for state filings. Okay.
And I was finally able to give an idea to Rachel about applying for the second round of the PPP. And I said, instead of putting somebody's name, just put Metro NECAT, and it worked. And then she was needing some documentation, so I sent her a couple of documents, and then it went through. So I'm not sure, we just crossed our fingers on that.
Yeah, it goes through to an approval department, like a review department first, and they go through it and make sure it looks right before they send it. So if it gets past them, we should be in good shape. We're just waiting to see if they kick it back and say, wait, this isn't a name, or this isn't a driver's license, or whatever. So we'll just see.
Yeah, let's keep our fingers crossed on that. Well, now let's hear from Cam's report. What's going on your end?
Do you want them to approve the financials?
Oh, sorry. Guys, I need your help on this because I'm a little nervous.
It makes me feel like I'm off the hook, so.
Yeah.
Well, do we need to approve the minutes? I mean, we made a motion in a second. We didn't vote on it. Do we need to vote on that?
Yes.
Okay.
Can we have a vote to approve the minutes?
You
So
want to do
moved.
it by voice vote?
Somebody's talking. The voice got cut off. Was it you, Shanna?
I asked if you wanted to do it by voice vote or if you need roll call.
All right. So
I think we can do it by voice vote. I just wanted to make sure.
yes, by voice call.
Okay. All right. So you've got a second, you've got a motion and a second already.
Okay. Who is taking notes? Oh, Dana is here. Sorry, guys. I'm lost here. You're going to have to forgive me. Okay. So do I have, okay, I have to go over here. All those in favor in approving the minutes, say yay or nay?
Yay.
Yay.
Do I have any opposing? No? Okay, minutes are approved. Do I have a motion to approve the financials?
So moved.
I'll second.
All right, Brian move and Dana second. Do I have all those in favor say yay?
Yeah.
Yay.
Yay.
Do I have an oppose? No? Okay. Financials and minutes are approved, and now we move on to Cam's report.
Okay, great. So top of my list, I just want to say congratulations to Shayla again for becoming the board chair. I think you're doing a wonderful job. Me and Shayla have had a couple different conversations this past month. It's been very encouraging. I think she has some great ideas about where we're going with NECAT and how we're going to make this happen in a big way in the next year and the years to come. So I'm excited and encouraged by her constantly. So congratulations again. This month has been a really busy month for us at NECAT. Working from home has been one of those things where, like, a lot of times I'm just waiting on phone calls and emails to get to the next point of where we're going. But we did a lot of job interviews this past week, and I'm sure John and Chris will speak more to this. But we basically were going through Metro staff. I want to thank both of them as well as Adam for involving me in the hiring process for our new Metro staff member, and what that's going to look like whenever we get back in the studio, as well as while we're still at home, how they're going to be able to help us. That process was really great. We talked to a lot of great candidates, and again, I'll leave that to them to speak on later on their presentation. I had multiple school meetings. Ascend Federal Credit Union had provided us some money to do our regular job shadow program that we have historically done in the studio as a 2-day program. We kind of changed that over with them this year and did some digital stuff where basically I would do Q&As with the kids over a video call. I watched some short films that the students were making at Hillsborough, Hillwood, and McGavick. We actually had one scheduled last week with Pearl Cone. but it was postponed due to the snow day, and we're trying to reschedule. That is the last thing that we have that is on the books that we need to basically make good on the money where that Ascend gave us. All of those students are going to be provided with a membership as well as the opportunity at their disposal to come to NECAT when we are reopened as a studio to take our regular adult learner programs and get involved in that way, since they weren't able to do it during a school day because metro schools are not allowed to do field trips right now. So we're making that opportunity available to them. Like I say, Ascend is covering all of that, and we hope to have some good turnout. We had some great, just great interactions with the students. One of the schools, like I say, that had their short films are actually going to cut together some of the best of it for us to run on NECAT, and it's all about how these students are dealing with quarantine at home. It was just really encouraging, and I had a really great time doing that. I have been very vocal in saying that I think that I think NECAT needs to be a place where we have space for both our adult learners and our students. I think this was a really great opportunity this year, being forced to do it this way, because it kind of opened my eyes to some new things and new ways that we could help them. And I hope that, as we move forward, we're able to do more of this kind of thing with the metro schools, because I think it really worked out. I also had a really great discussion with Pam Dugas, who's at the Dugas Foundation, about our We Foster Film program. That's kind of our next big initiative. The Dugas Family Foundation gave us money last year to do this digital program, where we're going to be reaching out and doing a similar type of Zoom call where we talk to different people that have worked in film and television about their process. One of the first things we're going to do is do one about inclusion and ability. I talked to Amy Saffel over at Able Youth. We're putting together a program right now where we're going to interview a couple of different people who work in the film industries who have a disability, and kind of their role and how inclusion works for them. Really, at this point, I'm just looking for an evening where we can all get together. The plan is to reach out to our membership to let them know that they are able to come watch the live taping of that, over the internet, to be involved. We're going to try to leave some room at the end for a Q&A session. And then once that is done, we're going to basically mimic the initiative that we did with Feel Good Friday, where we'll take that recording, we'll put a credit block on the front or back of it, and we will air it on NECAT, for all time's sake. I think it's going to be a really good program. We've got, that one is basically all put together. We just have to pick a date to both run it, and then just decide when we're going to hold on to it for TV. When I talked to Pam, Foster Dugas was kind of the one he was a real big lover of things like makeup and Halloween and independent films and things like that. So I wanted to make sure that they knew exactly what we were doing. We're going to use a photo of Foster that is already on our NECAT website in it, and I just didn't want to surprise them with that on television, because that can be a lot. Whenever someone gets a big surprise like that, and she was all for it, was very happy with where we were going with that. So I'm really excited. I've had some conversations with Big Fella about helping me co-host on that and being there all the time. I welcome any of our other board members to be involved. If you want to be a person who is on a panel in any which way, or if you have ideas for panels or people you think that should be involved, this is a very much it's a more creative initiative, as opposed to what we're doing with Feel Good Friday, which is more of a nonprofit initiative. But I think there's just a lot of room. My plan is to make these about an hour-long program, and we can go a little bit longer, a little bit shorter whenever it comes to the live stuff. Like I say, I'm going to need board members kind of help me be on the call, help do the recordings, and just mute microphones and stuff as we're doing it. Very similar to what we did with the Nashville Predators call back in December. I also had a meeting with the people at the 54-Hour Film Festival, which is we're kind of going to partner with them in the similar way that we did with the 48-Hour Film Festival. This is their 10th year. They have a lot of contacts for people that are making short films here in the Nashville area. The plan right now is we're going to give them 3 hours of airtime. We on an upcoming weekend. We haven't picked exactly when, but basically they're going to take a best of their last 10 years and air those films. And at the end of that, they're going to host a separate panel discussion with their this year's 54-Hour Film Festival makers. If anyone had a chance to view the thing we did with the 48 right after I came on board at NECAT, it will be very similar to that, other than we'll be doing it over a Zoom call as opposed to doing it in the studio. I think it's going to be a great process. During their actual event, because they're all online this year, they're going to be running a NECAT promo during the event between all of the different short film blocks. So we'll get some exposure from that. the hope is we're going to bring all those filmmakers over into NECAT to help them start creating over here with us. I know Big Fella also had some movement on the t-shirts. I'll let him speak to that a little bit, but I know just about everybody was on that email. But at this point, I think we just have to, the nonprofits we've talked to, with Feel Good Friday, we just have to put the ball in their court and see if they want to get involved with that. But I feel like it's a good way to make some passive income, where we've already started this Feel Good Friday experiment, and it's been fantastic. I think Shauna Lynn's done a killer job on keeping that movement going. Obviously, Shayla and Dana both have been very involved with that as well, hosting shows and things like that. And every week I get a lot of joy whenever I get those videos, like just watching through them, cutting down the trying to, cut out the bibs and bobs and stuff. Dana sent me a really funny email a couple of weeks ago where she had said something at the end that didn't work out. And she was like, hey, can you please cut that out and make this, work? And so it's fun to kind of go through that and try to sure things up. But I think it's been a really great program, and I'm so proud of all of you for pushing that forward and making it part of our regular TV program. I think it's something really special that we're doing in NECAT. Rachel and Shayla already talked about the PPP. Obviously, I'm very excited to make sure that that's happening, because it keeps me here for longer as we grow this brand and just kind of move it forward. I've had a lot of really encouraging talks this month with Big Fella about kind of the way I see, things going forward. I really believe NECAT has to be a place where we can create both inside the studio and outside the studio. I think the idea that we put forth with the Cooking with Big Fella show and doing that pitch, that is the wave of the future. I think taking shows like that, creating them in-house, deciding on ideas, and then figure out ways to educate both students and adult learners to help us make those shows and put them on the air. That's the way that we're going to win. That's the way we're going to help people create jobs and give people their start in the entertainment industries. I have a lot of really great ideas, I feel like, on that. I look forward to talking to some of you in the subcommittees at some point and kind of working through some of those ideas, getting your feedback for all of my blind spots for things I don't see. I think I've told a couple of you, like, I feel like with a board like this, it's one of those things where, like, I'm here to, as the only employee, like, I've got ideas, the things I want to do. I need you guys to be my eyes and ears and tell me where my blind spots are, and show me, like, talk to me about the things that I'm missing or opportunities that are there that I'm, just don't know about. We've done a really good job, I think, putting all of this stuff together, as far as like with the trying to get this pitch document together and getting that stuff out there. I'm excited for where it's going, but I know we need to start moving a little bit faster on that, as we're, as Rachel said, we only have a couple more months of runway, so I want to make sure we're putting those things together. One of the things that I don't know that if everyone has talked about, and again, I assume that Chris and John may speak on this a little bit more, but there's a new committee being put together at the mayor's office. There was a gentleman named Breck Walker who reached out to me after our last board meeting. I know he's had conversations with Shayla, and that basically when I talked to him, we talked for about an hour and 40 minutes, and I kind of just told him all the things that I love about NECAT, the opportunities I saw at NECAT, the things that had happened in the past at NECAT that were both good things and things that we didn't think that had worked really well. What they have decided to do over there is put together a committee of just trying to help. I was a little bit worried, I could say honestly, whenever I first got that email, just because I was worried it was going to be something where they were trying to put a thumb on us or trying to, like, kill it in a way. But after the conversation I had with Breck Walker, I was really encouraged, and I feel like he is here to help. He's here to be a voice, just to kind of see what they can do to help us. So on that committee right now is, like I say, Breck Walker, who is doing this pro bono from the mayor's office, Tyler Pittman, who of course was our former board chair, Trish Chris, who was the executive director before me, Gisela Moore, who is working at the Tennessee Film Commission, Mark Rowan, and John Laster over at the mayor's office are all going to be involved, with that committee. And basically, they're going to be there to have conversations, see opportunities, and provide them to the board. I know when Breck reached out to me again by phone last week, I guess they were going to have a meeting with that committee, have a conversation, and then reach out to have a separate meeting with me and Shayla. And I'm sure anyone else on the board who would like to be involved with that would be welcome to attend and listen to what advice they may have for us. I don't have a lot of answers to that. I don't know, say, if Chris or John do, but I just wanted to let everyone know that was happening. One good thing I've seen just right from the jump on that with Gisela, I know Big Fella talked to her, and we kind of had automatically had a really good, cool thing happen. the artist Arabian Prince, who you guys may know from NWA, was on the Straight Outta Compton record. He reached out to us, and we reached out to him basically, and had two really good conversations on these past 2 Mondays about some things that that he's doing with when it comes to like online stuff, animation and gaming, stuff that we think we may be able to implement here in Nashville. He was very encouraging. He feels like he may be able to get us some funding for some of those kind of programs. I feel like students have the way my kids, like I say, who are basically 13 and 16, they care a lot more about stuff that they're seeing online and gaming than they do about watching traditional television, which is something NECAT has been providing for 40 plus years at this point. So I'm excited to see where that goes and see what he can do. But we're going to have another conversation next Monday with him. I invite anyone on the board who wants to be involved to kind of hear more about that, to be involved. We haven't set up the invitation yet because I just wanted to announce it here. And if anyone's got any questions, I'm happy to answer those. But say it's all still very new, but he's working with some big companies, think places like Netflix and Amazon and things right now. And again, he kind of gives us that star power that we've been looking for, just someone who had some name recognition, who could just be a cheerleader for NECAT. He seems like he wants to help. And so I think he's going to be just a good get for us to have on board and just talking about NECAT and how it can grow.
Is he local?
So currently he's in California, but the conversation he had with him last week, he wants to come out. He travels a lot. He does come to Nashville. He has some ties here, but his plan is to come out and take a tour of the studio once we're able to do that again. But he's not local, but he has ties right here in Nashville. And like I say, Gisela at the Tennessee Film Commission is the one who put us in touch with him. So that's basically everything I have for this month. So if anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer them. And I'll defer all that other stuff. It may be better to wait and let John and Chris speak on anything they have to speak on before if anyone has any ideas about this separate subcommittee. But say I've got, if you guys have questions, I'm happy to answer them.
That's a negative from us. This is the first I've heard of it, so it'll be interesting to look into it more.
Yeah, definitely. He's been doing a lot of different things, and we've been able to talk a couple of times and discuss all these different ideas. And of course, we wanted to continue to do, if possible, Feel Good Friday. And we've been having a little problem in scheduling Conexión Americas, but I don't know why they take so long to respond. Do we have anything lined up, Dana? I mean, Shiana?
So we've got one that was supposed to be for March 5th. Mm-hmm. Or February 26th. So I've reached out to them. We may just switch a couple of those dates and move them around. And then I've got a list of 7 or 8 other nonprofits that I'm going to start reaching out to and schedule those. Okay. So I'll let everybody know. Brian, I got your email about dates that you're available next week. I tried to reach out to Connexion this morning. We still haven't connected. So hopefully I'll talk to him sometime today. If not, I will email him again some additional times. So Shayla, if you could send me maybe some times you're available next week, and what I'll do is just say, we're available at this time, can you do it? And we'll just see if that works.
I'll send a couple of different dates. Yeah. Cam, are we covered for this month for Feel Good Friday?
So the last 2 weeks we've ran reruns because we didn't have a brand new one, and I think that's fine. Right. I mean, I think anytime we're repeating old episodes, it's still getting information out to the community. Yeah. And we've got are we at 10 episodes at this point? I don't even exactly know, but we've got a lot of good stuff that's just repeating, and for the most part, these haven't really repeated over and over. So I think we're okay. It's kind of one of those things where we'll make as many of these as you guys want to make. I think it's good. I do know that I've got 2 that I need to put in touch with Shauna. One through the 54-hour film festival. They have a nonprofit that they work with. That's all about getting kids working with scripts and things like that. That's a nonprofit. They're supposed to send me an email, and I'll forward it that way. It would be great, obviously, to run that the same week that we're doing the event with the 54, which we're still putting together. And
what date are you looking for that? And I can just kind of build that into the schedule.
So they're supposed to be back with me this week. For their just to pick the weekend they're going to do it. So if we did that on the, maybe what we could do is put the Feel Good Friday on Friday and then run their program right after on the Friday night. That actually makes a lot of sense. And so we can do that. And and from there, it's like, I think there's the one I sent you the email on that we're still trying to get set up. And I feel like there was one other thing that was kind of.
Yeah, we've got some in the works. So
they're coming. And like I said,
so
I don't think
we'll build them out.
If we repeat a couple weeks.
Yeah, we'll build out. I'd really like to. March is a busy month, so I'd like to get that one filled out so we have it planned, and then start booking April.
Yeah.
So I'll reach out, Cam. I'll keep you updated on that. For one that when you were talking about your first project of setting up some panels and really get into the technical of things,
yes.
Feel Good Friday with TPAC, we talked about some of those technical aspects and some partnerships. So that might be a good outreach and a good connection with them. We told them we'd follow up on maybe some ideas, but that might be a good outreach opportunity to them to say, hey, we're putting this together as well. Would you be interested?
And Shauna, do we have able youth on our list? I know we had talked to them, but do we have a date?
They're on my list.
Okay.
Not yet, but I was going to reach out to Amy this week and get that one scheduled because I know she had expressed interest. I've got a lot on here of people that have emailed you, Cam, but Amy, I'll reach out to her today. I'll copy you on that email so you know. Just with you working on other projects, we can combine them.
Exactly. When we're doing the We Foster Film thing, if we can tag team both of those to air on the same week, that's great for promotional reasons for sure. So fantastic. Great job on that, guys.
So
really.
So just let me know if you have dates for any of that, and then I can just move things around on Feel Good Friday. And I mean, we can go ahead and record, and then we can move them around. So
right, and I'm hoping by week's end I'll have some more firm dates that we can lay down and say this is what we're doing.
So let's just touch base on Friday.
Shauna Lynn, I have a question. Do you need more nonprofits, or are you cool, or you want me to reach out to some of them people and get them, or do you got enough?
Oh, I bring them. I mean,
because I can just go through that and call a bunch of them people.
How about I send you a list of the ones I'm contacting this week, and then go for the rest of the list.
Okay, cool. Let me know, and I got you.
All right, that'd be great. Thank you.
All right. So thank you, Cam, for all the wonderful job that you're doing, and everybody else for your support. And now let's hear from our John Ferguson. How you doing, sir? You doing better?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
So I just want to reiterate what Cam said at the top of his comments, which is in regards to the interview process that we all went through. And I want to thank Cam for participating. And I think that between, the four of us that were involved, I think we found some great candidates. I was surprised at the quality of candidates that we found. We luckily were able to identify one that we were, all unanimously blown away from, and we thought was a great candidate. I talked to him; he's definitely interested. We ran into some setbacks with Metro and moving the position forward. So Chris and I are working through that. But I wanted to mention to Cam that I think that because of these Metro setbacks, I think we should move forward with whatever you were planning on doing, community-wise. The meetings and things that you were planning. I think we should just, go forward with that and not wait on the position because, obviously things potentially might take longer than we think. So, but yeah, I think that, we found some great candidates. So there's no shortage of good candidates out there, whenever we are in a position to hire people. In regards to the studio, obviously we're still closed. Nashville State is still in phase 2. And so we are still waiting on them for phase 4. We are still checking out camera equipment to producers. We average, I think, around 2 or 3 a month of checkouts. And so, people are still checking out equipment, which is good because I think that it allows them to continue to produce content and continue to use the services that we're providing. We've also seen people reach out to me, and I've forwarded those on to Cameron in regards to signing up for new membership. People are still signing up for new membership to, get their shows on the air. I had somebody who had been a member, years ago, who wanted to get back in and get their show. Obviously, they're not producing in the studio, but they're producing offsite. So that's very encouraging to me that people are still utilizing our services, still utilizing the channels that we're providing to the public, and so hopefully that'll continue. We are soon approaching the 1 year mark of the PEG studio being closed. I think it was March 16th that we officially sent out the email that said we were closing. And so we're going to have to start thinking about, and I think we've discussed this before, but we're going to have to start thinking about what we're going to do about sort of, giving out free membership or allowing members to kind of have a free, it's, coming up on a year. Obviously we are still offering services, so I don't know exactly, how we're going to make that happen. And obviously we're hurting financially. So it's a bad time to be doing that, but I think that's something that needs to be kind of discussed and come up with a plan, because we don't want to get caught and not have a plan for that. So I just encourage us all to think collectively on what we can do in regards to the membership plan and offering free membership, if that's something we want to do, or if it's offering some other benefit. I think we've said all along that we were going to sort of extend people's membership if when we closed. I certainly didn't expect to be closed for a full year when we were making that offer. So I don't know if anything changes in regards to that, but I think that we should all think about that. And I'm sure a lot of us, especially Cameron, probably has been thinking about it, but I think having a group discussion about that is definitely something that would be beneficial for the board and for NECAT in general. Yeah, I heard the comments about starting a committee. I certainly didn't know anything about any of that, but it sounds like, based on Cameron's comments, it sounded like it was a positive, and they were looking for ways to make NECAT better and make NECAT a stronger organization. So I'm excited about that, excited about what that committee brings to the table. Yeah, so anyway, those are my comments. If anybody has any questions for me, you're welcome to ask.
Thank you so much, John. Yeah, I was talking to Cam about that committee last night, and I don't know, but I think that they had a meeting this week on Monday, but we are supposed to meet next week, but I haven't heard yet about a date or a time, because Cam and I are supposed to be meeting with them as well. So he was asking me about, the future of NECAT, or what I think, or ideas. And I gave him, obviously my background with the station. So I don't know, we'll see what comes out of it. I hope it is all good. And what I think that they're doing is trying to collect information and ways to move forward, so he can present that to Metro. And then based on that, I guess the decision will be made regarding NECAT.
Yeah, and just again to clarify that, say this wasn't anything that was no one basically asked at first. It was kind of one of those things where Breck basically reached out. There had been some conversations in the mayor's office that I don't even know that Chris and John were initially privy to, where they're just looking at everything right now. They're trying to figure out how to make everything go, and the conversation I had with Breck was a really good one. He did ask me for suggestions. I gave him a couple of names for people that I thought would be a good fit. The one person he took from that was Tyler, just because I think Tyler's got a really good view on what NECAT has been since I've been here, obviously, because he's been so involved. As far as everybody else, I haven't had a lot of conversations with anybody else that's on this committee. No one has reached out to me personally. But obviously, there's a couple people on that committee that have some history with NECAT. They do have a view of what had been there in the past. I really don't know where it stands or how it works, because, the way I've always looked at this as the sole employee, it's my job to try to guide what I think is best. And again, like, to listen to the board for what you want and try to put those plans into place. I'm hoping that once we have that initial meeting where me and Shayla are both on the call together, as well as their committee, they're offering suggestions. I don't really see this as anything where they're going to dictate to us what is going to happen, as much as they're looking to solve some of our problems with our financial situation, and maybe give us some ideas on how we could connect with other organizations. So we're using NECAT and the PEG studio to help all these different, great organizations that are in Nashville. They're just trying to put people together. And again, I was really encouraged by it. So hopefully we'll have some information by the time we have the next meeting. And if anyone has, wants to know any more, say, reach out to me personally, and we can have a conversation. And, if you got any concerns, obviously me or Shayla going into this meeting, we want to know, that way we know what to listen for and also what to ask. So.
And also, John, I was wondering if, I don't know if we can do any virtual classes regarding the new equipment that is being installed. Is that possible?
I mean, I would certainly be open to it. I think that we can create some training materials and sort of release those. We stopped charging for the studio classes, and so it would not be a way that we can bring in any additional revenue, unfortunately. But I think that I'm definitely open to creating some virtual materials that people can use so they can hit the ground running once the studio opens up.
I think that it will be wise to charge at least $5 for the virtual class, so we can get something in. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I mean, I don't think $5 is going to move the needle that much. It's kind of one of those things where, like, whenever I look at the numbers across the board, our membership stuff it doesn't pay the bills. You know what I mean? It's like, and that's not the thing. We've always kind of felt that buying into a membership, what that does is it helps people have skin in the game. So it's like whatever they pay for it, they will actually show up to the classes and things like that. But it's not so much about raising money for us as about like letting, just so we don't have an empty room. I think right now, when we have so many members who haven't had the opportunity to be at the studio and get the things that they had actually paid for, it doesn't exactly feel right to me to charge anything for it. I think, we need to provide more material that we can use both right now during a pandemic, as well as stuff that can be future proof. That way, anyone that wants to get a touch up on this stuff can go back in and watch it. Because like John was saying, after a year of being gone, we've got all this new equipment we're going to have to train people on. Plus, we're going to have a lot of people that are really rusty. So I think it's going to be good to have some new classes. Just to kind of speak on what he was saying about the idea of what we should be doing as far as memberships going forward. I still think it's important that anyone, like, we count the days that they had left on their last membership. We give them that time back when the time comes. I think we have already seen that we've got people that are renewing memberships. That are happy to pay because they want to keep NECAT going and they're so involved with it. I think more than anything, we need to fundraise, separate of our membership, instead of trying to take money out of any of our current members' pockets who we haven't been able to provide for in the way we have in the past. We need to reach out to other places, corporations, the public in general. Maybe it would be worth, having someone more talented than me pinning an email, a fundraising email that we can send out through the NECAT thing, just kind of saying like, hey, we're in need of this. How, if you want to donate, put it here. I think that's a way to go. But maybe get some of this, these kind of videos sponsored by a group in the same way we're trying to get all this other content sponsored. I think that may be the better way to go with that. And as far as going forward, I think any video content we can do is going to be important. But I also know that when we get back in the studio, one of the big things we're going to need is to have more classes. Whenever the last year we were open before the pandemic, we had a class a month that we had that Tim and Adam were teaching, and we had to add a second class almost every other month because we had so many people signing up. I'm not done with this yet. Whenever we get back in there, I promise you, I'm going to kill this. We're going to get people back in the studio. We're going to get them trained up. We're already talking to people about ways they can come in and get involved with NECAT. So it's one of those things. When that happens, I think we just got to plan more to have more training classes to get people who are current members trained up on the new equipment and rust proof on the things that they used to know, as well as getting these new members signed in. So I think John's idea is great. We probably should have a separate, meeting about like how the reopening is going to look, and just plan for that. And in the meantime, I think we just have to, we need to reach out to the public and ask for donations in a very matter of fact way, because at this point we've done some great things. We've kind of put it out front, but like with Feel Good Friday, we haven't been able to raise a lot of money. I think at this point, with 3.5 months on a runway, we just kind of need to be very open and say, hey, NECAT is in dire straits. If you love our nonprofit, if you love what we're doing, if you love what we're watching, donate some money back in. Let's keep this thing going. And I think the community, even our members, I think there will be a lot of members who are willing to donate. Some can and some can't. And that's the thing. I always just want to make sure we're providing for the least of these, the people that the have-nots and the people that don't have money, who their only opportunity to make any kind of production is with us because we don't cost very much. It's like, at the same time, I know we've got members and we've got corporate sponsors that do have deep pockets that are happy to help. So I think that's the way we have to look at it. Again, that's just my personal opinion, but I'm happy to, do anything you guys want to do to make it happen.
Can we run a PSA campaign on the channels?
Absolutely. As long as there's no, when it comes to donating to NECAT, we can do that. We can't have any, we can't advertise any product, but if it is actually going back into our nonprofit, we are able to do that.
I mean, maybe we design a whole fundraising campaign with that exact in mind. And it can be, we can do a social focus, we can do an email campaign, we can do PSAs on air. If we could find like a spokesperson for it, like Big Fella, I know you have some notoriety and people get pumped about you. So maybe you could, you could be the face of it, or I don't know, I don't know if anybody has any ideas there, but I think we could easily execute a campaign that says exactly that lets people know it's an hour.
Yeah, we could ask people in the Nashville community. I mean, I think we could put a list together of potential people to at least do a video, be featured in the email, social media. I think we could have a variety of people do that. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, I mean, I think if we scripted PSA copy, a 30-second PSA copy, and asked,
and just stuff people can shoot at home, and
that's what, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
One of the things that I was talking with Cam about last night was about a telethon idea. You know how they do this telethon where people can call in and donate, and so we can run maybe programming or a documentary or something, and then we can have like a live chat to get people to donate. I think that this will be a nice route, complementing all these different things that you guys just mentioned, to raise funds for NECAT.
I mean, I love that idea. I just think that takes more of an effort than having me sit in front of my computer and say, hi. I mean, nobody knows me, so that doesn't really make sense for me to do it. But I just mean in general, being like, hey, I've been involved with NECAT for X amount of years. I love it. This is a now or never situation. Like, make a donation. And I think we also need a simple donation link. I think that maybe the GoFundMe is a little bit confusing personally. I feel like, people think of that more as like crowdfunding than like a true donation to a nonprofit. So maybe it's directly to the donation. We have a landing page on the website, or just the actual donation page on the website. You can do a text to donate. I mean, there's several avenues, but make it really simple for people to make a donation. And then, I can write 30 seconds a copy. And I just
agree. Like I think we've got to simplify the website. We've got to make it so easy for people to get.
Yes. Like step one, like donate. And then, we could turn a PSA in an hour.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that the GoFundMe is a little bit confusing, and then we have so many days to wait for PayPal and not this and that. I think it should be a simple place for people to come in and donate. I don't know if we can set up a text to donate number. We will have to look into that option. But it has to be like 323-145, something like that. That is very quick to remember.
We do have a simple option right now through the website just to donate via PayPal. I think the landing page obviously could be a lot better. But I think if there's a way that we could do PayPal is a known brand, it's protected. I think most people do use it. So I don't think it's a bad thing to be using PayPal. It's just a matter of we just have to get it in front of people. If we're waiting on people to go to the NECAT website to find it, they're never going to find it, because who in the world even surfs the internet that way anymore?
Not to mention, when you go to our homepage, where do you? It's up in the nav bar, but if if you above the fold, if there was a click here to donate,
It has to be big.
click here to donate. And I don't even know if this version of the website has that functionality, but we have to make it so easy for folks to donate. And I agree with you. I don't think PayPal is the issue. I think just making it front and center and easy to find is.
And just running the campaign. I mean, it's a matter of like, I took over social media duties just because I am the only person here. And there are some weeks where, we're really good at it. There's some weeks where I've got other stuff going on and I haven't been able to. So with that, it's like, I know we talked about developing more of we kind of simplified how we were doing our Feel Good Friday stuff over this last month. Maybe that's what we have to do is just put a folder together and like make up some different art posts and schedule all that stuff. I know me and Shayla talked about putting together a program with that, where we just kind of, if I spend a day just scheduling all the posts for the next couple of weeks, and that way it would all kind of hit without me having to actually physically log into all those different spaces and make it happen. That's a good way to go. And again,
there's a program for that.
And again, it's like what I'm saying here is like I am happy to do everything that I can do. I always appreciate the help when you guys lean in and help me cover some of this stuff, just because it really is just a matter of time and function, because I know it's simple to think like, oh, an Instagram post only takes, 30 seconds.
It's somebody's job.
No, complicated. Yeah.
And so it's like, I just want to make sure that we're all touching that. And maybe that's one of the things we need to talk about in subcommittee is setting up a structure on when stuff is going to go, because right now, if you gave me a campaign to post, I can make that happen. But it's the idea of developing the entire campaign and then, getting it up there every day. It's a lot going on with everything else that we have going and making it happen.
I would say the first step is Brian had to drop off, but I think we need to reach out to Brian and ask if we can simplify some of the things on the website, like the donate button. I mean, he may be able to answer that question for us since he has the login and everything.
So I got a question. I got a website question. I remember, I can't remember his name. The guy's not on the board anymore. What's his name?
Joe?
Yeah, Joe. He mentioned Hands on Nashville and the website. Are they the ones who did it, what we have now? Was that through Hands on Nashville?
The current website, my understanding of it is Katie, who had been here before me, kind of helped put that website together whenever Trish came on board, which again, was at this point 7 or 8 years ago. And even then it was a pretty dated web setup. It just hasn't been updated because we've never had a specific web person who just kind of handled that. Tim had been doing that. We talked last month about, at this point, Tim is gone. We have to have someone else come in and take care of that. It's something John's been asking for the better part of a year now. And we have to move on from the way we've done it in the past. So it's one of those things where I am the kind of person, like, if we need to do it, I can sit down and I will try to figure it out.
But you don't need to do that, man.
And that's the thing. By no means an expert on web design. So
do y'all mind if I reach out to the Hands on Nashville people and kind of figure out how they do that and just kind of get that ball rolling?
Yeah, that would be great.
That's a great idea.
You can solicit for you can create, like on Hands on Nashville, you can request a volunteer to help with your webpage. So they initially create an opportunity with NECAT that is web design. What Joe was talking about, and when I was at Nashville Cares, this is how they made their website before I was even the marketing director there. But they do, you might want to ask them, big fella, there is they'll do a 48-hour blitz, and some people will pick a nonprofit, some web developers, and spend 48 hours making your site. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's cool, but then you don't always have the tools or you can't always do anything with it after. You know what I mean? Then you're right. They've washed their hands of it. So it's helpful to have somebody who's ongoing, and maybe that's something that committee can help us out with, brainstorming, is how to get some of these support functions that we need, especially don't we still have a few board positions open?
Yeah, we got two new members appointed, so I suppose they'll start next month.
Oh yeah, you missed that part.
Oh, okay. To either of them.
Jen Lynn is gonna be one, and Brand Plummer. And it looks like Brand Plumbers with the Entrepreneur Center. So that should be connected into a bunch
I
of
hope
different.
one of them has the skills to write grants.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll work on that. And I was gonna ask Rachel, do we have set up the PayPal.me/NECAT set up on PayPal? I don't hear you. You're muted. Rachel, you're muted.
We have, I mean, I don't know what our PayPal account is called in that regard, but we can certainly.
Yeah, there is a new feature there that you can just set up a button that's called paypal.me/ and then just put NECAT, and we can put that link in all of the social media so people can donate directly on that link.
Okay, I mean, our PayPal has some kind of a name, so I'll see if I can look up and see what that link is.
All right, thank you. So we got still some time here to discuss about follow up a little bit about the sponsorship program. Where are we with that? Have you heard anything, big fella?
Yeah, can I just run through all these updates real quick for you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so starting out with the Nashville TN, really, I don't think they're gonna need us for anything. It's like passive income. We'll get $2 a shirt, and they'll promote Feel Good Fridays. They're supposed to start, and he's supposed to be sending some stuff over, but they're gonna handle everything, and we'll just make $2 a shirt off everything. And whenever NECAT wants to do a shirt, or like specifically for NECAT, then we'll get the same, I guess, $9 or $10 that they're giving the nonprofits plus the $2. So that's good for NECAT. And it just keeps the relationship with the Nashville TN open. I've been talking to them more about the content from that Cam has been talking about that we will be creating, and being able to kind of cross-platform it to be able to utilize their platform as kind of like a digital sister station for our personalities and content. And they'll also be able to go and sell the sponsorship things for it, or underwriting whatever for a lot of this content, and just kind of keeping that relationship open. And he's supposed to send more information over on exactly how they're going to roll out the Feel Good Friday thing with us getting the $2 a shirt. Regarding 77 Ventures, they're going to send over a questionnaire that we could fill out and ask a couple more questions, so that as they're putting together the pitch deck and all of that for the Amazon thing, they're just doing it. I believe that it's going to be kind of they're going to do it, and when we get money from Amazon utilizing the pitch, we can figure out whatever it is that they'll want. We'll take care of them out of that, you know. But I think they're going to do everything on the front end. They're already doing it, and just let them do it.
Have they given any feedback on that pitch deck? They've never replied to any emails that I've sent.
I think they're using it to put together the overall pitch. So, I mean, they're going to send back a bunch of questions, should come today or tomorrow. I talk to them like, hey, man, I need an update. We got a board meeting. And so they'll send back some stuff so they can get that moving. So we should have that in the next 24, 48 hours. If we don't, reach back out to them. Also, let me see. I got a question about, actually not a question. So in talking to Cam and I've been talking to a lot of people about NECAT. I've really been talking to a lot of the creators and creative people in Nashville, like content makers, people that are already making stuff. And a lot of them really kind of feel the whole NECAT thing, and they're interested in starting to run their content that they already have, and just start building a deeper relationship. I mean, without the studio being open, none of them we kind of don't have that to where they can come in or utilizing equipment. But I think it's cool because they're kind of already autonomously making their own thing anyway. They don't actually need us, but I think it'd be cool if they were around. And it's just the whole, basically the community of content creators on a bunch of different levels, from people who got 30,000 followers to some of them might have 10,000 followers, and a couple guys got 100,000 followers. And from talking to Cam, really trying to get everybody to look at this like the hub where all of those people are centrally located in one place and they can go do their own thing and everybody still does what they do, but all kind of agreeing to, you know, we'll all put our stuff at NECAT so it'll look like everybody's together, you know, all the content creators in one place, kind of creating that rainforest where we are the hub of the creative content creating ecosystem. You know, we just offer resources and airtime and space and camaraderie and support and all of that to those people. And I think they all need it. And the idea of just in talking to them, the idea of people that they know and respect that make similar content that they might not know them, but they respect them. The idea of all of those people being in one place has really been appealing to them. When I talk to people, it's like they know the people you're talking about, like, oh man, like, yeah, everybody's with it. So that's pretty cool. I think it might be a cool thing for like John was mentioning, John and Cameron discussing the membership thing, and by having the station down or the actual studio down and all of that kind of being where it is, I think it might be cool if there's a way that we could kind of take this time right now and use it to let a bunch of those creative people in to start running their stuff, and maybe on the back end, try to find a sponsor to subsidize their memberships, you know, but for now, to let them in so that we can run their content. And I think it's good for awareness and promotion if you got these people who are all saying, I'm at NECAT, I'm down with NECAT. I think that goes further for any fundraising initiatives and anything that'll go further than reaching out or having them pay something, you know, just their networks and them saying, I'm down to be part of that is powerful, because these are people that other people respect in that world. And we just need everybody to look at NECAT like that place, you know, and there's no way to get them to look at that place if those people aren't around. So I think it's kind of, you know, how Red Bull gave away a bunch of Red Bull before they sold any, and now everybody needs Red Bull. I think this might be a good opportunity because it is time to, you know, give away some Red Bull to the right people who everybody look at and be like, oh man, he drinking Red Bull, I want to drink Red Bull, you know. Red Bull being NECAT, of course, you know, just in case. But
and to follow on that, I mean, like, you know, what the way that we have always ran it historically, we have an $80 membership fee and a $50 class if you come in and use the studio. We also have an outside producer where you don't have to take the class, you just pay $80 and you could put a series on the air. But all through this quarantine, the kind of the two things that we were able to do is we offered some space for people that, like, if you had stuff that you had shot that didn't exactly fit into a series, you could send it in and we would put it on the air, kind of in some special blocks. And then obviously we did the film festival where we charged a fee for those one-off situations all through that. But it was a smaller fee than that $80. I think with this, it makes sense for anyone that already has some one-off stuff, just because we need content to give us new stuff that we creative content that we can run. If it gets them involved, like say it gets them ingrained in NECAT in a way that they can come through, take the classes, be a member. And like Big Fella was saying, like, kind of one of the things that I truly believe is the way we're going to have to move forward is to be able to underwrite, you know, some of these memberships whenever we go out and get this corporate sponsorship. Because the way that I see it, and just to give you the short pitch, and again, we could talk about this more in the subcommittee later, but if we come up with a show, you know, for instance, we talked about doing an exercise show. If we go out and we get a sponsor, you know, who's be the corporate sponsor for the exercise show, what we basically would do is have them cover the cost of production. What that means is if we had 10 people that we're going to bring in, that we're going to train, it's going to cover their cost of class and their membership for the year. It's going to put any fees that we have to actually put the physical show together and cover all that cost. And then at the end of it, that way that those people have got the training, they've actually got the first piece of a reel for a new career. And we sell it as a job training, you know, kind of thing that gives us both content and puts us forward. I think there's a lot of opportunity to do that. We just have to develop, you know, products in TV shows that we can make that happen. I'm having some really cool conversations that I'm not ready to totally expand on in a public meeting like this when it comes to like trying to get these shows developed. But I think there's a lot of opportunity to raise money that way. And, you know, hopefully in the subcommittees, we can talk about that and I can listen to your ideas and we can just find ways to make that work.
Yeah. How much airtime available do we have? You had that question, didn't you?
Well, it's one of those things where, like, the way I see it is we have 3 television stations running 24/7, and we have a lot of our content has been running for 4 or 5 years. So I think it's worth bumping some of those older shows to put on new content, even if it's because right now that old content isn't generating any income either. At least with new content, it gives us new eyeballs.
Yeah, I think it'll be really valuable for, like, as we talk about awareness and even running some kind of campaign where to the people to donate money, it's like they got to be flipping through and see something that makes them stop, you know? And there's a lot of people, like, technically a lot of these creators, they don't necessarily need NECAT. They got YouTube and social media now, you know? So I think giving them a space where everybody's together and it's just another good look with like having airwaves that when people stop, if they're flipping through TV at home and they run across something that'll stop them for a second, that's the most valuable. So if we can somehow get these people that are making content and putting it on YouTube, it's just another place to get eyeballs that you really wouldn't get and find more of your people. And I think they all understand that inherently. And the cool part about it is you can grow it from there. Now you have those people start making stuff together, and it's more specifically for NECAT. Let me see if I had something else on here. Yeah, and talking to Cam too, I think that just looking at it, I've been around NECAT for a long time. I remember dropping off footage to John to put up years ago, like a long time ago. And when I came back the next time after John, who was that lady's name who was there when you were there? She was super cool. Kim?
Kim. Yeah, Kim.
Yeah, boom. Kim was super cool. When I came back the next time around, whoever the people were, I'm not sure if it was people between Kim and now, other than the Trish lady and somebody else. But when I came back, I mean, I had a show that worked. I just looked on there when I was looking through to find the social media numbers for Dana and just looking through NECAT's page to send to some people. Outside of the big shows, like y'all had like a concert series or something, and I seen Raul Malo on there. Those had a lot of views, like 60, 70,000 views. But outside of those, one of my cooking shows was like the number 2 or 3 most viewed thing on NECAT, on the website, on the YouTube page. You know,
it's a great show. That's because it's a great show.
But and it was interesting when I came back around to try to put the show back on. I had new shows that they kind of didn't want me over there, which I understand. You know, I'm a little crazy, but it's all good. I think that having that space where people know that they can come and that stuff will be there. I just know that people see that stuff. I got a lot of notoriety and a lot of business. My show went far off of just being on public access. I made more money off of that show, the idea of that show, and people seeing it on public access than I made off of anything else I've done. And that's just random. That's just people flipping through the channel. I was going through voicemails I used to leave a number, like leave voicemails. I got 100 voicemails of people talking about, man, we love you. We watch you every Sunday at 3. I'm like, I forgot it was on at 3. But it really works, you know? And just extending that, and as we build it out, having that place for these people is going to be priceless. So if somehow we can just get some of these people in, there's a lot of them too. And some of them are truly, truly amazing. I had a call with a guy yesterday who does, he's got like a social media thing, but he makes content for companies and they run out. The way his mind works, and we start talking about NECAT and where it's headed to as far as being the hub of where the content is made in Nashville, where we make content for Nashville, by Nashville, they just jump right in. They dive in like, okay, let's do this, you know? So working on that consistently with Cam is pretty cool. And the thought of, I think NECAT has been run more like a nonprofit than a TV network, you know? And I think that as soon as we allow Cam to run this like an actual network and do what he does versus running like a nonprofit, then we'll be able to I think we're gonna make good money from running it like a network, you know? I just think it'll happen like that. And that comes with being cool, having the right people around, personality shows. It'll give experience to these new people by having people who do this all the time. And I'm just excited about that part. But I think running NECAT like a network versus a nonprofit will be a major, it'll give us that thing that we're looking for.
You were like listening to our conversation last night, I guess, because that's exactly what Cam and I were talking about last night.
Yep. I think for the longest time, what people have seen in NECAT, what we have always seen as our value is the fact that we have a TV channel that people can tune into at home, and the fact that we have a studio space that people can rent out and use. So we don't have the studio space right now, and the TV channel is it's good, but we're not using it in the way that I think that we could, to get more programming on. But I think the most empowering thing that we haven't realized is the power we have to put people together. One of the big things I've been trying to do since I got here was get all of our technical people that are over here and all of our actors that are over here, put them together in the same room and get them working together. I think it's just a matter of like, it even goes back to, Feel Good Friday. It's like having you guys as board members who know about this nonprofit space go in and have these conversations with other nonprofits. It has generated these great conversations. I think all of this happens because we take people who don't, filmmakers who have been doing it and putting them with filmmakers who haven't been doing it, or putting them with all these different organizations. And like, if someone calls and says, hey, I want to make this kind of show, and I say, okay, I know someone over here, let me put you in conversation with them. That is our power. I mean, that's the board's power. That's my power. That's the power of NECAT, because we can bring those people together and start making these programs where it's not just one person showing up, taking a class, and trying to bear the burden of putting an entire show on that one person to organize it. We've got to put these people together in the room virtually, and when we back in person. It's going to be awesome. I have no doubt. Like, we're going to get there. Right now, we're just trying to keep the lights on. I get it, but there's just so much. There's so much power in what we do. There's so much power in television. Like Big Fella said, people, for whatever reason, they still see it as it's a different thing if you're on television versus just being on the internet. It's a people see that as prestige. We have that opportunity to make it prestige. We've just got to put better programs on constantly.
That's true. So we have a few more minutes here before we have to adjourn our meeting today. I just want to know from Chris if you have heard anything else regarding the new studio location or anything.
Yeah, no, I haven't heard anything back yet, and part of it is probably because Nancy Whittemore, the head of general services, has just retired, and I believe the person that actually runs the property part of that is in transition. So I've got a message out to them. As soon as they hear back from them, I'll let everybody know. But right now, we haven't heard anything back.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. I will send out an email to everybody who can join a subcommittee so we can discuss a little further the fundraising idea, and also to organize, work a little bit more on the business plan for NECAT, so we can do some projection for 5 or 10 years moving forward, so we don't just be in the now. So we need to think about the future of NECAT. And everybody are welcome to participate. Any feedback will be great. Any ideas that you guys have, and I can't wait to hear what 7-7 have put together for us, and see how we move forward. Anything else?
I got one question. One question regarding the part with getting these outside shows and new producers involved in NECAT. Like, what's that process like to be able to approve, like what's the word, or just suspending a membership, or like pushing it over till we can subsidize it? Because I just want to get these people in and get their stuff up. If we got a 3-month runway, it's like the faster we can get stuff on there and looking like something, the quicker we could build the profile. So how do we go about that? Do we do that, wait till the next meeting, put that on? I don't know how this works. It's my first time on the board. Some of this shit I don't know.
I mean, I feel like we already have a space. We have a space for that right now. We've already done this in the sense that, like, we have been giving space to people to send us stuff during the pandemic. I think what we need to do is just schedule a time period on the network that we kind of say, this is the set schedule. Anyone that sends in this content where they didn't actually pay a membership, it still has to be approved. I still need to look at it, make sure that there's nothing there that's going to, that allows it to be on NECAT. But we just kind of say, from this time to this time, we're going to run that stuff. And it may even rotate where their show, if they did a short film or music video or a thing, it may not be on every week all the time, but from, say 2 to 4 o'clock, we're just going to run that content in a block and let it go. And I think we can do that right now without having a whole lot of further, conversation about it. and next month maybe circle back around to it again, see if there's a better way to go with it. In the meantime, I think the thing that that we can do is anyone that has stuff that they're trying to develop, a whole lot of what I'm doing right now is just having conversations with people, trying to encourage our members, and trying to recruit new people. It's hard to get people to pay for a membership whenever we don't have the studio for them to go to. But I'm happy to sit down with any creators here in Nashville and kind of talk about what they're doing, talk about the content they're making. Let me explain to them kind of the rules and regulations that NECAT has on board so they know what it is. And we've done a little bit of that this month, like I say, between the 54. I know Big Fella introduced me to a couple of different people who are creating stuff in town. Like having those conversations, that's what I'm doing right now. So like if there's someone that that wants to do that, let's just set up a phone call or a Zoom call, and we can walk through what they're trying to do versus what we're trying to do and see where it fits. And as long as no one on the board is deadly opposed to that idea, I think that's the way to move forward with it right now in the here and now.
Maybe getting them all like a group, if there's 2 or 3 or 4 of them, kind of getting them all on one call, so you don't have to keep doing it. It's like, hey, all these people get on this one call and just listen to Cam.
I think that's fine. And we were planning on having a member meeting. Like I said, we had pushed that because we were waiting for that new hire. But like John said, there's no reason at this point for us to wait for that. So we just need to schedule something. Maybe we could get that on the books. Get the next at that we could announce the We Foster film series. We can put the We Foster film on and invite anybody to come, view that and listen to those conversations, and use that member meeting as kind of to answer some Q&A with our current members and maybe anyone who's thinking about coming on board, and just talk about what that vision is. I think that makes a lot of sense.
All right. Anything else anybody has in mind that I haven't said or I missed something? Did I miss anything? Thank you. No, you guys are quiet as a mouse. All right. Well, if there is anything else outstanding, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you so much for your time and for your support, and heart you all.
Do you have to vote to adjourn the meeting? Do you have to do that? A motion? Is that required?
There's a motion. Anybody object?
Okay,
Yeah,
there is no objection. No, okay.
There you go.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
And hit your stop recording, Shayla.